I'm leaving Melbourne and probably could not come soon enough. I've been back in Melbourne for about 2 years now, and I think I've got the learnings that I needed to get, and they have been grand, big learnings. So I've decided to leave Melbourne for a bit. Last year, 2025, was a little bit hard for me. The relationship that I had built, that I had put an effort building, was kind of crumbling. And it was my first year at VCA, which is the film school that I go to, and I had some trouble fitting in. I felt othered, and I felt not great. I felt like I was losing a lot of my confidence, both in the relationship and at film school. And I'm not here sitting and like blaming people or situations. That's just my learnings that I had to take. So with my relationship kind of, falling apart, it's a heartache that I kind of like never had experienced. So a part of me is thankful and grateful that I am being shown this part of life. Because before, when people used to tell me that they're going through a breakup, I really didn't get it. I didn't understand what that meant. I was like, how is that a big deal? Like, just find someone else. But I think going through the first breakup of my life gave me a lot to think about. And I'm still thinking. So my breakup happened around the start of October. It's been a couple of months now, but I'm still dealing with it. And I have decided to take some time off Melbourne, where I built the relationship and I saw it fall. So I'm going to Turkey. Why Turkey? Well, one, I've been learning the language for 2 years because my ex was part Turkish. So I've been learning the language, and at this point after the breakup, I was kind of like, do I continue learning or do I drop it? Like, where do I go with this? And I didn't want to drop it because I didn't have a full understanding of the language yet. Although I'd been learning for 2 years, it was just like online on Duolingo, and it was a bit of a solitary experience. But I want to go to Turkey, and I want to cement my knowledge of the language. That is kind of the reason that I tell people I'm going to Turkey, but I think the real reason is I'm going to stand in front of a grand, huge, monumental picture of my ex. Because I am not taking the breakup well, and I just want to go stand in front of his picture. And he lived in Istanbul when he was younger, and he's traveled around Turkey. It was actually our plan to go travel together, but I'm still gonna do it. And I think to move on is to move through it. And to be honest, like, it's more like it's my own creative way of suffering, because the suffering that I was getting from the breakup was just so dark and just so all-encompassing that I was like, I need to do something with this suffering. And in October, I had actually gone to New Zealand after the breakup to take some time off, and it really helped me kind of come back to my senses. In ways that I was losing myself, it helped me come back to myself. Traveling helped me. Meeting new people from different places helped me feel confident in the perspectives that I did have and find new perspectives that I didn't have. So that's why Turkey. The loose plan is that I have basically time off until the end of July, when my semester starts for film school. So ideally, I'd like to be back by then. From now until then, there's more than 4 months. I'm hoping to spend 4 months in and around Turkey. So my flight is booked for March 16th, which is in about 10 days. I was gonna stay in Istanbul for 2 months. That was the original plan. But a couple of things have, risen and fallen. So now the plan is I'm going to do a work away in a village near Çanakkale, I think. So it's on the western southern kind of point, western central, I think. And there's a village there. There's a woman there who is building a house on her family property, and she requires some help, and she would love to host. So I'm going to stay with her helping with building the house and doing things with your own hands, which I anyway love to do. So I would be honored. And she lives with her two parents in a different house. So there will be space for me. We will be cooking together. We will be going places together. She knows a lot about the history, and I would love to really be a part of all of that. And I think that's the kind of reflective, quiet, integrated learning that I'm glad is coming my way. And then that would almost finish in about 2 weeks. So about April 5th to 6th, I should be back in Istanbul. And then I have a plan to volunteer with a language learning conversation club where people are actually trying to learn English. So a couple hours a day, 5 days a week, you host conversation clubs and you talk to groups of people. And for that, I get accommodation through that company and an allowance for grocery. So that is the plan. That's the loose plan. Around May, mid-May, is when my mom is coming to Turkey, and we will be traveling the Aegean coast, so the western coast going down, up to down. We will be doing that for 2 weeks. So before that, I might go to Cappadocia maybe. But these are kind of my loose plans. I have a Notion workspace kind of going where I've added all the information I've found on a lot of Facebook groups or Reddit or YouTube. Any kind of tips, budgeting tips, accommodation tips, traveling tips, I've all added that to my Notion. So that's the kind of planning that I've been doing. I just spoke on video call to the woman from the village. I don't want to say her name, but I just spoke to her, and so it was really nice. And currently I am sitting here packing. I have 2 bags that I'll be filling in. One will be for workaways, so anywhere that I'm going to travel for a couple of weeks and work. And then the big one will stay in Istanbul with someone that I met, a friend, kind of. Well, I hope that we will be friends. This is a person whose room I was gonna rent for a month, so I'd sent them a deposit actually earlier to book the room, but they have to give me my deposit back because of something. And I said, well, can you please keep my big suitcase? And they said that they would be okay with that, completely okay with that. So I'm packing two lifestyles. Of course, there are parts that are scary about it. Let's not forget the elephant in the room, which is that it's close to a conflict zone. I don't really have much to say about that. I mean, I don't really see how me going there is relevant or not, because people live there. They're the ones that are front on dealing with the uncertainties and the conflict. For someone like me, it's not as big of a deal as it is for them. And so I'm not really sitting here thinking my trip is gonna get ruined, or what about my plans? I'm gonna continue as much as I can. And since my flight is not canceled and I've heard news that Turkey is safe, I will be going. If anything does happen, it does suck that I can continue to stay in a safe place like Australia. Of course, my mom would not say that it sucks. My mom would love if I were safe, of course. But I think people just think in different ways. And for me, it's always been a little bit emotionally hard to separate myself from people who are unsafe, because for me, I don't think of myself as separate from anybody. So when anybody is in an unsafe position like that, it's hard for me to sit still and be safe. But of course, my mom would love that. Fair enough. What is the exciting parts? There are a lot of things that excite me. A lot of food that I've had here, Turkish food, that I would like to try there. Of course, meeting new people. It is the fire of my life. Meeting new people, talking to them. And I would love to, obviously, learn Turkish. Properly learn Turkish. That's something that really excites me. Of course, the beauty of Turkey, the landscapes, hammams, sea, the ferry, the cities, the architecture, everything. I mean, I could not be more excited. I know my flight is in a week, but I wish I could leave today. it could not come faster enough. And to be honest, my time here lately, it's been pretty surreal and strange. It really feels like I'm just kind of waiting to leave. I don't know about you guys, but I really believe in my intuition, and I really believe that the right things come my way, even though they may be really fucking hard. Like, can't tell you how hard I took this breakup. But I'm trying to understand my lessons, and I'm trying to keep going. And what better way to keep going than to really go hard? And so today is a big day because today I'm packing my bags. These are the kind of kurtis that I'll be taking to my workaway, but also for my time anywhere in Turkey. I want to be wearing like something simple and something that shows my style, which, you know, is, I want it to be traditional. I want it to speak about where I'm from. Something that's really, really cool is I found this at the op shop. Can you believe this? I don't know which lucky woman left this for another lucky woman, me, to be able to buy. And matching with this, I have this beautiful piece that I also found at a different op shop. This was a little bit more expensive. This was $30. But, I mean, look at how beautiful it is. What the hell? So this is the kind of style I want to have when I'm a bit more dressed up. These are pieces like the kind of stuff I'm going to leave in Istanbul. And then for when my mom comes, we'll be traveling the coast, being at beaches, pools. So for that, I have stuff like this. Pretty much everything you see is going to be secondhand. A lot of my clothes are secondhand. I found this at the op shop. I think it was the same person who left all of their clothes. And I just like took all of them. This is all like everyday kind of wear. Because I'm going to be there for like 4 months. I want clothes that I can keep re-wearing. And really like secondhand not only kind of helps budget traveling or budget life. Like sometimes people ask me how I fund my lifestyle. And I'm like, I don't think that you realize my lifestyle is simple. I don't spend a lot. I do like when I party, I spend a little bit. But even by then, I don't mean a lot. I actually do not spend a lot of money in my life. I work and then I spend it. Like, I have been working a lot recently to be able to save money for this trip. And then I also live at home. So this apartment that I live in, this is my mom's apartment. And I'm going to be renting out my room to be able to get some income for the 4 months that I'll be away. So that's like my money that I can kind of work with. And then working, I saved money to be able to buy the camera that I'm shooting on, and also put some money aside for when I'm traveling with my mom, which will be the most expensive part of my travels. Otherwise, the work away, I don't pay for accommodation. I don't really pay for food. Of course, like I will be giving my input, but that's just because who I am as a person. But you can travel really, really budget friendly if you use a website like Workaway. I can't really recommend it yet because I haven't tried it myself. Of course, there's reviews and there's people that talk about it. And you are free to go check that out. But for me, it's like visiting an aunt. And that's how I'm seeing it. I really do follow my intuition. I know that if my intention is good, usually things that I plan turn out good. So that's my Turkey trip. That's what I have planned. And I'm super excited. And I think next I'll do a check-in once I am in Istanbul. I'm going to be there for 2 days before I go to the village. So I'll try and get some footage, some thoughts, my own feelings, how I'm feeling. I'll probably be crying a lot on this trip, just to let you guys know, but I'm not afraid of crying. And I can't be because I'm constantly crying. Found these jeans at the op shop. I can wear these under all the kurtis. Found this beautiful pink top that will go really well with this skirt. I've got it all sorted. I'm kind of killing it. So beautiful. So I'm gonna stop my packing now, and I will check in with you later. Thank you.